Hey everyone, and welcome to Bottle Envy. I'm Tony.
I'm John.
We're just a couple of beer league hockey guys here in Arizona sharing our thoughts on whiskey, bourbons, and anything that comes out of a bottle, to include beer too.
Yep, tonight we got 5 bourbons that are easy for beginners and under 30 bucks. So these are our top 5 inexpensive, easy to get into bourbons.
Not cheap bourbons, we're not talking well.
Not bottom shelf, but right under that.
Right above bottom shelf.
Right under that 30 bucks. So nothing expensive. Everything's, grocery store, liquor store, no specialty or hard to find items. It's all stuff everybody can get.
Well, we'll see how you and I compare our tastings. We have kind of different palates, so this is just going to be a basic tasting. We're not experts by any means, but I want to see which one's going to be my favorite, your favorite, and
we'll rank them out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So here we go.
All right, let's get to it.
And our first bottle we're going to be trying today is Four Roses Bourbon.
Yep, so it's going to be from the Four Roses Distillery. It's going to be Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. And this is going to be 80 proof. This guy is going to be the highest rye of all 5 that we chose to go with tonight. So
I'll be honest with you, I don't like rye, but I like Four Roses Bourbon.
Yeah, but this is about 35 rye from what I could find on their mash bill. And thank you, sir.
Yes.
So it's definitely going to have
that.
Definitely have that kind of peppery, spicy, little bit.
That's going to be what I would say almost smells like rubbing alcohol.
I'm not getting rubbing alcohol. I'm getting the sweet notes, but I'm also getting that little bit of spiciness, kind of apple maybe.
You're going to have to dig in there and smell it, yeah. It is a little fruitiness you can smell, but the initial hit, it's a little rough on the nose, so you have to dig in there hard.
All right.
Let's give it a try.
I'm going in.
All right. Now, I've had this before, but the first time I tried this, I thought it was very sweet. So let's give it a try this time.
I'm getting a lot more of the rye notes on the taste than I did on the nose, but I'm also getting the sweetness.
It's still sweet of the bourbons that I've had. It does have that ryeness to it, but me, I don't like rye. I'm not a big fan of rye. That is just the right amount of rye for a bourbon. Any more than that, and I'm out.
It's a little thin, which
very light.
I would kind of expect. This is going to be the least expensive of all 5 we're going to try tonight. Okay. This came in right about 19 bucks here locally at the time of this shooting.
Yeah.
So definitely inexpensive and worth giving a try, I think.
This is really good. I've also had it with ice before. I think it really sits well with ice. It's very light. So that light fruity. This actually is kind of refreshing. Go out golfing, right? Maybe pregame.
It's only 80 proof. I'm not getting a lot of that heat on the back end, so that's kind of nice too.
No, that is very good on the tail end. A little strong on the front, but once you taste it, it really mellows out.
I like it.
Okay.
All right, what do we got next?
All right, next we got.
All right, next up we got Bulleit Frontier Bourbon, straight Kentucky bourbon.
Yep, that's gonna be from Shelbyville, Kentucky. One of my favorite bottles. Go-to for family and friends. About $30 a bottle. This one's gonna be a little bit more than the last one we tasted. It's gonna be about 45% alcohol. Less rye on this one. It's got rye and malted barley as the mix, and we'll see how it goes.
A little bit less rye.
I like the less rye. This is always one of my favorites.
This is going to be about 28% rye. Last one, the Four Roses with 35, I believe, percent rye. So a little higher, a little more.
So this is interesting. Like the last one we tasted, very high on the alcohol. Like when I sniffed it, it smelled like rubbing alcohol. This time around,
I'm getting a lot of sweetness on the nose here.
It's so easy on the nose.
A lot of sweetness. Maybe a little oaky, some of the tannins, but a lot of sweetness on this one.
Oh, that is nice and smooth. That's got like some caramel, like nice smoothness to it. Little bite at the end. Yeah. Got me at the end there.
On the taste, I get more of the rye, the grassiness from the rye.
See, this rye is not that bad. Like I don't taste it as bad as the Four Roses. This is definitely a lot lighter on that.
I like ryes, so I like that rye flavor in both of these. This one, again, that 90 proof, I'm feeling a little more.
It's got more heat.
A little more heat than the Four Roses did.
The smell gets you in the front, right? This is not too bad. It goes down great, but then that heat really kind of like kicks you in the butt on the way out. Yeah. But it is good. Something I do like mixing with for bourbon sours. Yeah. Really good go-to. It's really good.
Yeah, another good one. I like this one a lot.
All right, that's number 2. Let's go on to number 3.
All right. All right. Next up, we've got Buffalo Trace, and this is another straight bourbon whiskey. Again, right around that $30 mark.
Yes.
And Buffalo Trace, it was very hard to find their mash bill. This is going to be from mash bill number 1, but what mash bill number 1 is,
we don't know.
A little bit hard to figure out.
This is kind of one of those you have to guess.
Yeah, the consensus out there online is that this is going to be more of a traditional bourbon mash bill with probably less than 10% rye. That's the best I could find.
John, but are we going to like it? That's the question. Have you drank this before?
I love Buffalo Trace.
Yes.
Buffalo Trace is one of my go-tos. So, yes.
I love Buffalo Trace too. I love it because right after a hockey game, they blast it in the bar. Buffalo Trace is everywhere. It's kind of the go-to after a hockey game. It's kind of pretty cool.
It's become very popular now.
It is very popular.
I think the JRE podcast maybe had something to do with that. I'm not sure, but
that goes down so smooth in the beginning.
I get a lot of the kind of like almost like apple.
I got vanilla.
Sweet.
That is like vanilla ice cream. So this reminds me why I like this bourbon.
Yep.
So this bourbon starts smooth, finishes smooth, and is smooth. Mm-hmm. That sweetness, that vanilla caramely sweetness that goes through does not hurt. It does not sting. The aroma's good. The last 2 ones that we tried, there's some type of burn, whether it's in the front or in the back.
Yeah, I'm not getting any of the burn.
So good.
And this is the same 90 proof as the last the Bulleit, and this has far less of that heat going down the back.
It's spicy in the back, but it's not like I just licked a wet cotton ball full of alcohol. So.
I'm not getting a lot of spice on the back. Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah,
I like it in the back.
It's
very caramel
smooth,
sweet, vanilla in the front.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's our third one. We'll go on to our
think
next one.
So far, this is winner for me.
One of my favorites, but we'll soon decide. On to the next one.
All right.
All right, up next we have Maker's Mark, coming to you from Loretto, Kentucky. Maker's Mark, another one of my favorites. It's going to be about 90 proof. Mostly corn. This one is a little bit different because it doesn't contain rye in the mashup. It's what's it called? Wheat and malted barley, right?
Yeah, this is a little bit different. Strays a little bit from the more traditional bourbon mash bill. They replaced the rye with the wheat, so this has about 16% wheat. So it should have a little different flavor on the back and maybe a little more of that sweetness than
probably why I
not
like
quite
it.
As spicy. Might be why it's your favorite. Yeah,
it's one of my favorites. I don't get that rye flavor to it. I mean, common bourbons have rye in it. Almost all of them do. So this one doesn't.
Yeah, I get a lot of sweetness, molassesy, dark sweetness. Doesn't have any of that brightness that I get from the rye or the grassy. None of that.
Back to we're back to the Four Roses where that's got that first initial alcohol kick.
I'm getting more sweetness than ethanol, but
I definitely get that like rubbing alcohol sensation I got from Four Roses. Let's give it a try.
Going in.
Oh wow. It almost sits itself outside of bourbon almost. Like the last 3 that we've tasted, very traditional, very similar in taste, but because it's missing the rye, it's got like its own taste to it.
It almost feels softer. Like I don't know. It's a weird, like
sugary,
softer,
not
feel.
Fruity, but like sugary, brown sugar, like syrup, molasses. That has definitely got a lighter taste to it. Not any rye at all, which is one of the reasons why I like it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say lighter. It's softer. It doesn't have the spikiness of
Lighter, soft, it's about the same thing.
No,
you know,
different. It's totally different.
But no, definitely an easy drinking bourbon. This could definitely go good with like 1 or 2 glasses of ice. It's so much sweeter. I thought Four Roses was more of the sweetest one that I've had. This is definitely sweeter than Four Roses.
I agree. A lot of sweetness on this one.
It almost got like an oaky, buttery flavor to it. It's just that's how smooth it is. It's almost buttery to the taste. But that's a pretty good one. I definitely like it.
I like that too.
Favorites.
That's definitely moving up my list.
All right, and last but not least, and our final bottle.
Heaven Hill, Bardstow, Kentucky. Elijah Craig.
That's right.
Kentucky Straight Bourbon. So this one's also going to be right there at that $30 mark.
Small batch.
And we're back to the rye, although this is pretty low rye. This is going to be about 10% rye on the mash bill. So
Yeah, he says that I complained about this before, about it being too rye. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. I'll try it again. But I definitely like Elijah Craig. Again, these are all of our top favorites, so we want to see which one's the best out of all of them that we can afford.
that we can afford. Yeah.
On our beer league hockey salary, because, you know, we're big players, you know, big contracts.
Waiting for that new contract.
Yeah, I think we could buy probably, 15, 20 bottles of bourbon with our annual annual fees for hockey. All right, what we got?
USAA hockey insurance is the one that kills you.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm getting honey for sure.
See, that does not have rye. It must have been a different bottle that I tried. Yes, I can taste the rye. I'm fine with that. But this has got a lot of flavor to it.
Yeah, I think this is maybe one of the most dense.
Wow. Whew, there's that hit in the back. All right, so I'm talking cherry. I'm talking vanilla, honey, oaky. This has got like a whole lot of flavor. It's like a party in my mouth. Wow.
Way too much information.
But I'm telling you, I'm getting a lot of information from this, and this is really good. There's a lot of flavors in this.
I agree that there's a lot going on here. I'm getting darker fruity notes, a lot of sweetness. I'm not getting much of the grassy, spicy that I normally get from the ryes, which I like. I like Elijah Craig a lot. To me, it's like just the quintessential bourbon.
It does kick your butt in the back, though. You really get a good breath of it afterwards, and it's kind of heavy on that alcohol. Definitely not smooth on the back end, but all the flavors right up front.
I'm not feeling all that much heat on the back end. I think
It's my problem and your problem, but it's a problem. It might be for you, it might not be for him. But I think we're both agreeing that the flavors are really strong in the front. All the other ones have their little notes here and there. I've tasted 5 flavors coming out of this thing right from the get-go.
Yeah, definitely more complex, I think, than some of the other ones we had. This is not simple, but yet it's still under that. This one was $30 when I went and picked it up today.
Right at the cusp of making this list.
Right there. Yeah, we had a couple $30 bottles, but it's still that's easy to get and easy to afford for most people. So
definitely a good pick for me.
Cool.
All right, so now we've tasted all the bottles, and it's now our time to determine which one's our favorite and which one's our least favorite.
So give me a rank. How do you see them?
Okay,
what's your top?
First off, I have to say these are all my favorites. I like them all.
That's not how favorite works.
They're all one of my favorite bottles of bourbon. But I'm going to start out by saying that how I define a good bottle of bourbon and whiskey is how smooth it is, the flavor and the smoothness. And for number one, my number one pick is going to be Buffalo Trace. As I said in the video, it's smooth going in, it's smooth going out. It has some good flavor to it all the way through. Oh. So Buffalo Trace
doesn't burn you on the back end.
Doesn't burn me on the back end. Doesn't burn me on the front end. It's definitely my number one. My number two is definitely going to be Elijah Craig. If you want something with good flavor, a lot of notes into it, this is probably my number two. Number three is definitely going to be Four Roses. I love the sweetness of it. Yes, it's a little bit much on the rye, but this is like your light, fruity, sweet bourbon that if you want to throw in a couple ice cubes and have, after a hockey game, it's going to go down great. Number 4 is going to be Maker's Mark. Even though these all have rye in it, that one has some really good flavor to it. Goes down really easy. And then last but not least is going to be Bulleit. Honestly, I'll drink Bulleit on the rocks if I need to, but this is my mix in bourbon. If I had to pick, I would not mix these other 4 bourbons in a mixer. I would definitely just use the bourbon. So those are my picks. What about you, John?
Well, as usual, you're wrong.
So he says.
They're all very good bourbons, but your order's way off. So, Elijah Craig definitely takes the top spot. More complex, deeper flavors. Just the quintessential bourbon, definitely. Then we go over to Buffalo Trace.
Sorry.
Buffalo Trace is very close to excellent bourbon also, really easy to drink. Then I'm gonna go over here to Maker's Mark. I like the little bit of wheated flavor away from the rye. Great number 3 there. Again, all these are gonna be really affordable. Then we're going to the Bulleit. Back to the rye, really like the Bulleit, great drinker, and then the 4 Roses at the bottom. But it's, again, the bottom of this list, but definitely not the bottom as far as bourbons go.
Yeah.
Can't do wrong with any of these.
Can't go wrong with any one of them.
These are all excellent bourbons, again, under that $30 mark, easy to find, just great bourbons.
Yeah. Well, we'd like to thank you guys for joining us. This is going to be To the Nights That We'll Never Remember.
And our friends will never forget.
Thank you for joining us. If you have any other bottles or any other top 5 you want us to take a look at, go ahead and add the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and like. Thank you for joining us here at Bourbon. Take care. Cheers. What? We're just a couple of beer league hockey guys here in Arizona, sharing our thoughts on Burbies.
We're never getting through this. This is good.
Burbies?
How much have you had to drink already?
Nothing, I'm sober. Try that again. All right, we centered?
We're centered. As centered as it gets.
There we go. And then, you know what you're going to say? Do you want to do a,
No idea
do you
what
want to
I'm
do
gonna
a cut after I, do you want to do a cut after I go?
If I need to.
You know, okay.
You do your shit and then
All right.
I'll make fun of you and then we'll talk.
All right. Why am I more nervous on this one than the other one? Okay. Let me know when you're ready. You
I'm
can
ready.
count down.
There you go. 1, 2, 3, go. All right.
No, I'm not ready yet.
Good Lord.
Come on.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
I keep looking at the bottle and I'm like spacing out between takes. All right, I'm good to go.
Whenever you're ready, sugar.
All right.
All right.
Ready?
Ready. I'll finish this one.
That one's good. Okay, so it's up to you. I want to play musical bottles.
Want to do that? The best beer goggles.
What?
5 bourbons with the best beer.
So far, of these 5 bourbons, these are the ones I've gotten laid with. These ones I haven't, so I recommend this one. Okay, we'll go with that.
Best beer goggle bourbons.
Beer bog.
Beer goggle bourbons.
Beer goggle bourbons. I can't.
You can't even say it.
No. Beer goggle bourbons.
These are our top 5 beer goggle bourbons.
That's right.